Hi guys, Sanchi Bell with My Fairy Treasures. Okay you guys, I am back with some more mixed media. Okay you guys, I'm working out of several journals, okay? And this is one of the other journals I'm working out of that I just created. I created myself a new traveler's notebook. It doesn't look really new. I have had this piece of leather for probably 6 years, and I wanted to make a traveler's notebook out of it. And I just never did. I don't know why. I kept making them out of placemats, but not this piece of leather that I had. And it's a real piece of leather. And I got it from a thrift store for like $3 or $4, you guys. So I cut it out. Now, how you make your own traveler's notebooks, whether you can make them, I teach you guys how to make them out of placemats. You can make them out of a purse. You can make them out of just a piece of leather that you get at a thrift store like I did. If you find especially at a thrift store, if at your house you have a purse made of some nice thick leather or pleather, doesn't matter. You can make traveler's notebooks, and I'll leave a video link to this one where you can just click a clickable link of how to make your own traveler's notebooks, whether it's out of a piece of leather or it's out of a placemat. Okay, so I made this one out of a piece of leather. This is a piece of suede lace that I've wrapped around it, so I want it to look very aged, which this leather does look very aged, and I want it to look very just very old. So I tied a piece of, so instead of having anything else to keep it closed, I have like a piece of leather, suede leather that I have tied around it. And then I'm keeping this beautiful feather that I collected from nature in California on the beach. I actually collected hundreds and hundreds of feathers, and this one's going to always remain right there because I think that just looks awesome. So we're going to work out of this traveler's notebook today. Look how cool it looks. Look how old it looks and aged. Now, what I like about this one, usually I make them where they're just like this. Okay, there's the front and then the back. But this one, I made it kind of old school. Look how it opens up. So it's like this. It's like an old school one where you open this and you open it like that. I always wanted one like that. So, super excited. Look how thick that is. See the thickness on it? Love it. Okay. And then I have, let's see, I have 3 different books. Now, I do like paper, especially in a book like this. It looks kind of rustic. I'd rather have it filled with paper that's been coffee dyed. But I do want white pages because this is going to be a mixed media art journal. And I want to be able to do whatever on the pages. And if I have it coffee stained, it may get in the way of some things that I want to do. So if I want it coffee stained, I can just coffee stain it. So that's why I'm working like this. So anyway, also I want to explain something. The elastic I used for the elastic bands, like this elastic band, look how nice and thick that is. Okay, I tell you to get your elastic for your elastic bands to put in here from Walmart. And I always tell you to get like 1/8 inch. Well, for black, and I want it black. I didn't want white for this because it's a dark brown traveler's piece of leather. All they had was black, but all they had was quarter inch. They had black only in quarter inch. They didn't have the 1/8. You guys, even in white, if you get the white leather, because it goes with what you're doing better, get the quarter inch. It's way better. It holds your stuff back together. I don't know why I was getting the 1/8. The quarter inch is way better. And I advise Walmart. They have the best price for it. Okay. Let me show you a page that I already did, just to kind of show you. In this book, I'm going to kind of stick with things like this that look more rustic, I think. I say that and then I do something else. So, but just wanted to share this picture with you. This is all jelly printed. Papers used in the background with other things on top. And then there's a little pocket right here. This is a pocket made out of a paper bag. And I made it look like a piece of leather. I jelly printed on top of it onto the paper bag after I crumbled it to make it look like a piece of leather. So I wanted this to look like a piece of just torn up leather and made into a pocket. Some more mixed media with the jelly prints in the background. Some tags I made. This is another tag I made. This is some book pages I sewed together on my sewing machine. Like probably 6 pages. So it could be like a tag, okay? And then I just arranged this like gypsy lady. Doesn't that look cool? And I layered it first with a piece of scrap fabric here, a piece of burlap, and then put her picture on it. And then I just roughed up the edges to make it look like it was more roughed up. And then these are just bits of whatever, bits of burlap on the bottom and then a piece of lace. So just very rustic and yummy. I love stuff like that. I love doing stuff like this, and I love stuff like this. You know what I'll do is I'll do some videos on how I make some of these pieces that I'm going to be putting in. Oh, I didn't even explain that. So this whole book is going to be an art journal / junk journal. I'm so sorry. I just didn't even explain that. That's why you're seeing like art journaling all over, and then also junk journaling in the same. So this is going to be an art / junk journal. And if you want to join me on this little quest, this is going to be what I'm going to do for the rest of this year and next year, is do art journaling and junk journaling in this traveler's notebook. I'm still going to be doing art journaling in my altered, so I'm going to also do art journaling in my altered book. I'm going to do art journaling in my Diane Reevely or my Dilutions book. So I'll be working, also I'm going to work in my Abandoned Places books. Those I haven't done for a long time, but I'm going to do those too. So those are the books I'm going to be working out of for the whole year. So this year and next year. So you'll see me working out of probably 4 to 5 different books. So join me if you guys want. Make yourself up a traveler's notebook out of whatever, a placemat that you get from Dollar Tree, or a piece of leather, or a purse, and let's do some art journaling / junk journaling. Okay? All right. So that's all that. After all that explanation, this is a little tag here. Isn't that cute? So pretty. This is another thing I made into a tag. Well, basically, it's not a tag. It's an advertisement, but it's a piece of like cardstock. And this show's called Baz Musical Mashup. But it's next to this show that we always like to go watch, which I forgot the name of the group. Anyway, it's another show. And I just think that their advertisement just makes the most beautiful tag. Look how beautiful she is. Plus, I want to go see that show, Baz, a musical mashup. Anyway, so I put that in here. Whenever we go see any shows in this one hotel, and I'm trying to think of the name of the hotel. I live in Las Vegas. I can't remember the name of the hotel or the show we go and see. Jeez, my brain. I want to say the Jersey Boys. They're a group like the Jersey Boys, but they're not the Jersey Boys. It's another name. Anyway. Okay, so let's get started. Let me take this signature out of the book. And you know what, let me take the tags out because it'll be easier for me to work without the tags being in here. Let me put those on the ground. It'll be easy for me not to work in here. Plus, I don't want to get glue or paint, all over my traveler's notebook. So we'll take this, this, and this, and set this aside. And we won't work in that, but everything will go back in there when we're done. Okay, so, and the other thing is, I would like to make my traveler's notebook, use a stapler and staple this in. I bought that long stapler. It's a long stapler where it actually is long enough to fit from here to here to put staples in. I just can't find the darn thing. So when I run into that, I will staple all mine, unless I decide to sew them. So anyway. But for now, this is what we'll do. Let me grab some clips so we can clip this together so we can work in it. Some of these. And that'll hold things so that we can work in here and lay things flat. Okay, you guys are looking, okay, normally you just have just like this, right? So you can work on this side and this side. I added a flap, see? And I added a flap with, I make these on a scoreboard, and I've shown this before. You take just a regular piece of cardstock and put it on your scoreboard and score every inch. And when you do that, then you can cut these out. And these will be, little flaps so that you can add on pages, you can add on flips, you can make pockets. I make pockets out of these also. It makes the pockets so that they are more you have more room in your pocket to stuff it. It makes like a hinge. So it's a hinge. That's what I'm trying to say. This is a hinge. So I put this hinge like this with some double stick tape on here and on here. Went like that, and then I'm able to flip this back and forth. You also see me make these use these hinges for pockets to make it so that the pockets more, like I said, can be stuffed more. So those are very easy to make, and they're very useful. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we have this. So what we're going to do is we're going to decorate all these pages. 1, 2, 3. Not decorate. We're going to collage with our jelly prints and on this flap here. And we're going to put our girl. Okay, this is what I want to talk about. We're going to put after we decoupage on both pages with our jelly prints. Then we're going to put some goddesses on as focal points. On this page, this will have a pocket here, and I think a pocket here, so that we can, you know, put some stuff in it for the junk journaling part. So it's going to be art journaling and junk journaling. Okay, I hope I'm explaining things. I feel like I'm stumbling over my words. Anyway, so let's just get started. But the whole thing, whether it's going to be the page that's going to have pockets, which is going to be this one, or it's going to be the background for the art journaling pages, they all need to be decorated. They all need to be collaged with our jelly prints. Okay, so we're going to use those. Also, I have lately been really attracted to goddesses, and I drew these goddesses, and I showed you guys these a while back. I didn't even know they were goddesses. I just drew these women. And don't they look like goddesses? There's a lady, and her name is is it the Bealtaine Cottage? I'm going to show you right now. I have been hooked on her channel. It's called Bealtaine Cottage, and she believes she does goddess. What does she do? She doesn't just garden. She took this piece of land in Ireland and she made it into a paradise. It is just like the most beautiful cottage ever. And she believes in spending her days planting. And that's all she does for a living is plant, and she writes books about her planting on this cottage. And she calls it goddess work. And so I didn't know what I liked. I like the shape of the goddess. I just didn't completely understand the meaning behind the goddess. And the meaning behind the goddess is like the great mother of earth. She's a caretaker, she's loving, she's mothering, she's embracive, she's very supportive. It's like any mother you'd want to have, right? And she's like, basically, she's the great mother of the earth, of the world, of everything. So I've been drawing these goddesses, and so meaning came when I watched that lady's channel, and I'm like, that's what I've been drawing, these goddesses, because she has them all over her property. And I'm like, that's what these are. So these goddesses are going to be used as the focal points, okay? I'm going to do one through the, I also left, these are the inners, this is the stencil that was left behind after I cut these out. So one of these will be used, we'll use the actual stencil, and we'll use the mask, okay? All right, so that's what we're going for. I've done a lot of talking. I need to shut up and get moving. So let's get to using, and we're going to use jelly prints for the background, all the jelly prints that I've been making. So I'm very excited about that. Okay. Let's use these ones first. I have all this. Just a second, guys. I have all these pieces that I've already used that I have all ripped up. I really should have those on top of my pile of jelly prints. Okay, here we go. I've got so much going on. All right, so let's start. And I'm going to use a magazine as my surface. So I can just turn the page. Let you guys know how I'd like to do that. Sorry, you guys, I did so much talking before I got started, but I had things to say. And I kind of want to let you know in the direction that I was going right now. So, and if I'm not working in one of my books, we'll be doing some jelly printing too. And I'm feeling the itch to do some more jelly printing because I got some other color combinations of paint that I want to use. So we'll be doing some more jelly printing pretty soon on camera. Also, remember I made those, I have that in that box, that metal box of index cards. And I'm making them into either art cards or I'm making them into postcards. We'll be working on some of those too. So we've got a lot of projects to work on to keep us busy and to keep from being, you know, I guess I can get bored really easily doing the same thing all the time, as you guys have noticed. So, but I want to get a little bit more focused, even though I just mentioned a million things. It'll still focus me a little bit more. Some people are like, that's called focused. In my opinion, yes. But this lady, I like listening to her channel when she was talking about the goddesses. And on top of that, I love watching her, she shows her cottage all the time. And she's constantly planting and taking care of, she calls it Mother Earth. She's beyond gardening, okay? She has a whole cottage and she has 1.5 acres and she has fruits, vegetables, flowers, trees everywhere. You guys have got Bealtaine Gardens. You have to go check her out. And just the way she thinks about the earth and the way she thinks about life, it's just really, really, really interesting, awesome, and it's definitely the way I think. I really like her, and she got my butt back outside to my garden. I've been ignoring my garden. I mean, I've been watering and stuff like that and pulling weeds when I need to do that, but I haven't been planting. I haven't been planning, and she got me back out. And now I just filled up my vegetable beds again. I started composting again. I've been composting. I just ignored my compost piles. I make compost piles in garbage cans, you guys. We had a bunch of garbage cans left over because we went to the big trash can. So we had all these smaller trash cans. We still have the old school. The people came here and we still had the guys on the back of the truck here in Las Vegas until recently. They changed over, which is sad because that's somebody's job. It was somebody's job to get off the truck and empty the garbage cans. But they went to the automated system now. So I had all these garbage cans left over. Done with this purple in there? Yep. And I saw someone on YouTube, they composted in their garbage can. And I thought, oh my God, that would be perfect for me. So if you've always wanted to compost your fruits and vegetables and everything else, you can do them in garbage cans. You can do them in anything like that. So, or you can have just a compost pile or compost piles and put a covering like a plastic tarp over it. However you want to do it. So I've been busy gardening and, as my little friend says, planting Mother Earth. I love her. And you know what? I'm trying to think if I know her name. If she even says her name, does she? I don't know. I just think of her, I just want to call her Mother Earth. I don't know what she would think about that if she said that, but that's what I feel like she is. I think my husband's home. Okay, so let's just keep going here with okay, I'm just looking for different pieces to put in here. So what I'm using for this background is all is using my jelly prints, which is exactly why I do jelly prints, so I can use them as backgrounds for my mixed media pages. Ooh, words are just not coming out today. I guess some days are like that. This is a pretty jelly print. This is on deli paper. I love printing on deli paper. I always heard people say how much they love deli paper. And you know why? It goes down so nice. It goes down really nice. That'll look good over that. It goes down really smoothly. I want to see what time we got going on. And if there's any wrinkles, leave the wrinkles. That just adds texture. Just adds something to everything. Let me look at the... Yeah, we got about 10 more minutes, and my, what is it? My phone here will switch off. So, no major. Just go ahead and head to part 2. This is something else that I haven't done, you guys, yet with you, but I'm going to do this, how to make these on the jelly plate. Aren't these fabulous? It's a matter of jelly plating it, throwing ink on it, using a little, this thing to make little coffee spots on it. And the background is dipping it on a jelly plate. I'll go over this with you. It's really, really cool. And I thought this would make a great background piece. Put that right there. Isn't that fabulous? I love it. Also, I want to make the leather paper, or like the pieces of fake leather. It looks like leather out of paper bags, jelly printing paper bags. I haven't done that yet on the jelly print either. I think that's what I'll do on my next jelly printing soiree. Okay. Yeah, I need to get these pages put together. If I can't find that stapler soon, then I need to go ahead and let me put this, sew them. The thing about it is I was gonna sew them on the sewing machine, but when I did that, I can't seem to set my sewing machine up where it doesn't give the stitches aren't too close together, and what it ended up doing was just cutting my pages and not sewing them together. I heard if you can get the stitches set so they're so far apart, then they won't it won't cut it and make like a perforated edge and then your book fall apart. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm sure some people are like, no. All right. Got to get that resolved though. Or I could sew it by hand too, so. Okay. And what else do we want to add to this page? Let's add some of this. Jelly print. There we go. We'll add that right there. If you haven't seen my videos on different techniques of jelly printing, check those videos out. They're below this one. Below a couple of the last couple of videos below this one. I did quite a few jelly printing videos in a row, and I hadn't been doing any art journaling, at least on camera. I had been doing it off camera. So I thought, you know, I better start making some mixed media art journal videos. But I want to go back and do some jelly printing with you guys again. So we'll be getting back to jelly printing. Let's see. Ooh, I did this too, and I love it. Look how pretty that is. That is on like a piece of like this map that I have. It's a big roll of map that I got at Hobby Lobby for like nothing. It was on clearance for like $1.25, and it was awesome. But this is another technique I did on the jelly print. Love it. I know some people are like, girl, I just can't believe you just ripped that like that. That's why I made this stuff. Be used on this jelly print. To rip it to shreds and put it in my backgrounds. And I'm using my jelly prints more than I'm using anything, because it just adds so much magic to use these jelly prints, because there's so much layering just on the jelly prints themselves, and then we're going to do more layering on top of this. It just really adds it just adds so much layers so quickly in your backgrounds. I love it. It gives an interest that you don't get just by using even all the layers of, you know, you guys know I love to use book pages and scrapbook paper and just all this different stuff. This even gives you more just beautiful, beautiful layers with your jelly prints. So I highly suggest to jelly print. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, or you just want some good jelly printing ideas, check out the videos below, like I said. We'll add that right there. Because I do think I'm jelly printing. I learned from, and I forgot her name. I have her listed below those jelly printing videos. Is her name going to come to me? Like I said, I say her name in the video. And also I have her linked to the videos below about the jelly printing. She had some really good techniques, and I loved her techniques, and so I definitely was inspired by her techniques. And I want you, and you guys can check out those videos and see how I created some of this stuff using her techniques of jelly printing. And I'm sorry I can't think of the lady's name. I can't think of crap today, so I guess I'll just accept it as one of those days. You know those days that you are making a video, you're talking to your husband, you're talking to, you know, a friend, and you can't think of anything. Like, you can't think of the name of anything. You just want to just slap yourself. You're like, what is wrong with me? Anyway. We're getting all this on here. You guys are probably, let me look at the video. You're probably on part 2 now. Let's see. Nope, you're about to be though. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not working. I don't need to work too close. We're not doing anything that needs to be close up anyway. Because I'm working so wide, I want you guys to be able to see me doing all this, so. And while I'm doing that, I want to talk about that lady from Bealtaine Gardens again, really quickly. The thing I loved about her getting me back into my composting bin, I'll tell you a little story, is she believes you should be composting all the time. We always take from the earth, what she calls Mother Earth, and we don't give back to her. When you compost, you're always giving back. And now you can take that compost and grow more beautiful garden beds for fruits and vegetables, or if you have roses or flowers, you can put it on that. If you have trees, you're feeding the earth. And it's a way of giving back to the earth. We take, and we don't give. And it's so, so, so true. So she was explaining it like that, and I said, oh, I have compost piles in those garbage cans. I haven't even checked for 6 months. I haven't turned them. I haven't checked them. I opened up those garbage cans. They're on the side of my house. You guys, guess what I had? Soil. The most beautiful composted soil ever. I put it on some trees, some fruit trees that, thank God, made it through the summer. And I didn't have, you know, they were stressed all summer long because Las Vegas gets to be like 110 in the summer. So they were stressed. And I was hoping that they're still going to make it. As soon as I put that compost on them, they started budding out new leaves right away. And this just happened the last few days. I'm like, and everything I put that compost, I've gone through my garden, all the gardens in my backyard, my rose bushes, everything. And everything that I put that compost on is just flourishing. It's like, thank you, because they just went through one hell of a summer of 110, 104, 106, and everything is flourishing and recovering so well from that hot summer we just went through. But I love the idea of giving back to the earth because we don't give back. We just take, and pollute. So, and we all know that. So, hope I'm not preaching, but I just really liked the concept. It really made me think about why I am so interested in gardening and planting plants and planting trees. And I'll tell you one other thing she does, which I think is awesome. I was taking cuttings of everything in my backyard and putting the cutting into some apple cider vinegar. It's like I think it's 1 tablespoon or 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar to a cup of water, and that acts as a good root hormone. I had discovered that reading it somewhere or watching a video. And then you stick it in some wet sand, and the sand is a better way to root a cutting. And a cutting is just like you just take, like if you're going to take a tree branch of like a pear tree or a peach tree, you take all the leaves off and then you put it in the apple cider vinegar. Then you make a little hole in the wet sand and put that in there. And then when you get a few leaves, that means it's rooted, usually. And then you can throw that in some soil or right into the ground. Well, what she does is her ground is so fertile that she just takes the cutting and puts it right into the ground. Now, my soil is fertile, but it's not probably as fertile as her soil. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bunch of cuttings, and I'm going to spread everything I have here already around my whole yard with cuttings. She's like a little fairy. She takes cuttings in a basket and just spreads them everywhere. But I think I'm going to take the cuttings in a basket and my homemade compost, homemade soil, which is my homemade compost, and dig a little hole, throw some of my compost in there, and then put the cutting in the soil and see if I can grow. She grows trees like that, you guys.